Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at your favorite spot. Yes, my podcast, the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are short, and the responses are never dull. We've got Judith Richey down there in Texas. We are going to talk about force for transformation. What is a force for transformation? Force means pressure, means move, means to accelerate, to ascend. We have to do the work, brains. So many times you think Judith can step in with the secret sauce and it's going to work from you. No, what she does is she is the toolbox, but you need to do the deep dive and use the individual tools that are going to make it work for you. We're going to talk about great things like her membership. We're going to talk about the dark night of the soul. So many of us heard that, but what does that mean? How does that apply to us? And then playing small. Are we still playing small? A lot of people are, and you don't realize it. You think you're doing big things because you got 1 million followers, but are followers conversions? Are those leaders? Are those people going in the same trajectory as you? We'll talk to her about that and a whole lot more. How you doing, Miss Judith?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be with you today.
I'm excited to have you with me. Tell my brains a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
I show up as light and love in the world because that is my soul's calling.
Wow.
And it took me 50 plus years to figure that out because what I had been doing my whole life up until probably 2009, 2010, was living into what everybody else wanted for me and not ever taking the time to listen to what my soul was calling to me for. Yeah.
And when you heard the calling, again, I tell people when you get an awakening, an epiphany, an aha moment, it's undeniable.
It is.
You're not like scratching your head like, did I really hear this? Or did I really see this? Or, you're questioning it. It is innately in you. What happened to you when you got the calling?
Well, it was fascinating because I didn't have the words to put to what happened physically to me. I had gone through leaving a company that I was financial advisor with, very successful, and hit a wall and took what I call an adult time out.
That's
And this is my dark night of the soul, time of my life. My physical health was horrible. My emotional, mental well-being was awful. My marriage was awful. And I just called a halt to everything and did a bunch of self-directed healing for about 6 months. And I just sat on the couch and cried and read and prayed
mm,
and did a
mm.
bunch of healing because I couldn't find sources to help me. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And one day I stood up and stepped off that couch. And April, I kid you not, I felt the hand of God reach down and flip me back on again.
What?
I felt that like a light switch flipping. And that was when I woke up and when I stepped into my calling.
And so you got this aha moment. But there's another revelation to that, Judith, because now you have to rise up to greet that individual. It's a new normal for you. It's a new
Correct.
normal. You're going, wow, okay, now the light has been turned on. Now what do I do with it?
That's exactly what happens. Yes. So, in addition to me going through this time of my life, I had a daughter who had been diagnosed with ADD and dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia. And I didn't want to use traditional remedies for her. I did not want to medicate her with prescription drugs. So I got off into the all natural world, essential oils and things like that. That started me down a path of learning about alternative holistic methods for wellness. And that opened up the world of what I do now in my work with my clients, which is healing from the body first, with the emotional underpinnings of what are going on, and using somatic methods and all kinds of other methods combined to be able to facilitate healing for us. And it was because that daughter had ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia, and my quest for something that was natural that helped me find these methodologies.
Now, are these self-taught? I mean, I'm sure that you've been through certification programs, but you don't have like the letters behind your name.
I have MED behind my name, but I do not have I am not a licensed therapist. I make that very clear to my clients. I am a certified practitioner, however,
Okay.
and I have gone through several certifications and work with different modalities. My primary modality, there's 6 levels of that, 6 certification levels, and a postgraduate certification program. So I'm master certified in that primary modality that I use. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to flip the script a little bit because this is on everybody's tongue. Everybody's doing it. And it's got me feeling some kind of way. I don't know what it is. The use of psychedelics and the use of plant medicine.
Yes.
A lot of people in the shamanic, I don't know, I don't want to call it
Personal development.
doctrine, personal development,
Right.
they're using this to go through these past life regressions to bring a certain awareness. Now, I'm going to tell you, if something happened to me 200 years ago, I'm going to let it stay right there. I'm not trying to go back and get it. Okay. Even if we got to work through it at this point. But a lot of people are finding healing with that. And here, I
Right.
don't know, in Texas, here they are selling psychedelics like they're selling coffee.
Right.
I don't, I don't understand that. And the reason why I bring that up is framing the work that you do, the transformation. These people are saying that they're being transformed into something else. This may not again be your zone of genius, but do you have a feeling about where this is headed? It's kind of scary to me.
It is very interesting to me. And what I've come to is that, and let me see if I can put this where it makes sense. Um, Different personalities and different people are going to be attracted to various methodologies for their healing process. And that's unique to the individual soul. And so, where something might work for me, it won't work for you, which will work for Jill down the street, right? I personally have not been called to use psychedelics or do microdosing or use psilocybin, but I have really good friends who've used it and who say that they got great results, who were healers themselves and
Wow.
used it as part of their healing process.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been called to do that. Um, I think each of us have innate gifts that we have to bring to our own healing journey. Sometimes we need something maybe to bump an opening up of those gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Mine came through when I got turned on.
Right.
Maybe that was my moment that somebody else might experience through a psilocybin journey. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. If it works for
Right.
you and you had a positive experience, great. And if you don't feel the need, that's good too. I mean, I've talked to some people who used it and it did nothing. So
Right.
it really, for me, it depends on the individual.
Yeah, I think so too. I have a saying, if you like it, I love it. Let's ask another thing about transformation. And that's just where we are. I'm an African American woman living in California. You're a white Caucasian woman living in Texas. Working together in this thing called transformation, there's two totally different life stories. There's two totally life experiences. There's two totally different journeys. How can you support me in my transformation?
Oh, that is such a fantastic question. And where I thought you were going to go, and I'm going to go here for a second, is how could we possibly have anything in common?
Oh, we got a lot in common.
We do, because we're all part of the collective energy.
That's
That's where we start. So that's the starting point. We're part of the collective. And so we have something in common because we are part of the collective, and we are also from the same divine love creation. So we're connected that way too. it's interesting in the work that I do. I teach all of my clients to access their soul's deepest wisdom through something called muscle testing. And
Okay.
so I get my clients
Kinesiology, right?
kinesiology. You got it exactly right. And so I teach them how to muscle test. It's fascinating because I start them out with a standing tilt test, and a forward is a yes and a backwards a no. And if you can't get a solid yes or no, that's because you've got some phobias. And so I help you clear those and we get that forward or backwards. Then we move it on to the fingers. And my methodology is a very structured methodology that's a question answer methodology using your answers from your muscle testing. So your soul is directing the path that we take with my guidance because I know where we're going to go based on what the answers are you give me. So whether you're an African American woman from California or a Danish from Denmark or an Aborigine from Australia, the methodology will work because we're tapping into your soul's wisdom.
Okay. Which is universal energy,
Correct?
quantum physics, and alignment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you my little experience with a woman that went some kinesiology. I'm at a networking meeting and it turned different. It wasn't just, about business and all this. All of a sudden, all of these healers showed up. It was strange. So this one woman walk up and they go, "Oh, she's very powerful. She's this, she's that." And I'm like, I stand there. I got on my stilettos and she says, "I'd like to ask permission." Now, when you do kinesiology or any sort of energy work, you need to ask permission to enter this person. And I said,
That is so, so true and so important.
so I'm standing there and I said, "You know what? I must be steadfast. In my mind, I'm a blocker." She asked me a series of questions. And she said, "You would move forward or you would move backwards." I wasn't going to move because she was so powerful. You know me, I'm not going to move. Baby, she asked me some questions and I jerked and I jerked and I was scared to death. I was scared to death because there's a power when you get to this point that you are at that ascended level and you are dealing directly with source. It's beyond your control. It's even beyond your control, Judith. You are just the facilitator.
That is true.
You are just the conduit that it comes through. But with that, we have to be careful because there's other forces that can come with that. What do you do to clear yourself to make sure that you are a clear conduit, a clear vehicle, a clear vessel for the channeling of this energy, for this transformation for your clients?
You ask such good questions, such good
Well,
questions.
thank you.
Oh, that's important to make sure that the healer stays healed, right? And so I have a whole energy routine that I do. I'm a daily meditator, and so I'll meditate anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day. I have a very specific lifestyle. I don't consume alcohol, tobacco, or drugs. I only drink water. Consume no caffeine. These are all just things that are personal for me. So I eat a clean lifestyle. I don't eat junk food. I don't consume a lot of sugar.
That's
Um,
why your skin is just glowing. It's
oh,
beautiful.
thank you. I'm a little vain about my skin.
That's all right. That's all
That's
right.
the one thing I'm a little vain about my skin and my hair. And so I stay there and I have healers. So when I'm out of alignment, I have healers that I go to help me come back into alignment if something gets off a kilter. If I can't deal with it myself, I have people I go to. I'll tell you a quick story. So about 4 months ago, I did something to my shoulder. And I was concerned that it was a rotator cuff injury. And so I went to see an orthopedist and we went through the MRIs and everything. And while I'm going through the process of trying to figure out what's going on with the shoulder, I started doing some inward work. I'm very good at being able to go inward and find the answers, right? And so what I figured out is that this was a mother-daughter disconnect that was a generational family pattern that went back up 6 generations. And
Wow.
it's absolutely appropriate because my oldest daughter and I don't speak. She hasn't spoken to me in many years. And so I was like, okay, so this is mother daughter stuff. It's feminine side. It's showing up in my shoulder. Everything checked out. It was perfect. And then I met a woman through a networking meeting who did some different kind of work than I did. And I said, well, let me just book an appointment with her. So I went in and I did some work with her, and she says, oh my God, I've never seen anybody who's so aligned, whose chakras are so pure and perfectly humming like you. It's obvious you do the work. So she said, what do you need me for? So I told her, and she said, well, you're right. It is a mother-daughter disconnect. It is generational, but it goes back 20 generations. And you're the generation to break the cycle. And so I have been doing heavy duty clearing and pulling out. And this woman worked on me too. And then I've got a friend who's a Reiki master, and she works on me. And so between the three of us, we have done a lot of clearing on this generational issue, which is fantastic because it clears up those 20 generations. It clears across the generations. It clears for my daughters and my granddaughters, my nieces and my great nieces. So I've been doing that work and feeling the pain literally of doing that work.
And that's what people have to understand is that the disease turns into disease.
Exactly.
And so working with that, and then maybe there'll be a breakthrough with your daughter if it's supposed to be.
Right. And
You know,
that's not on me, that's on her, because each of us have our own journey. And
right.
so she's
Absolutely.
her journey as I am in my journey.
Mhm.
The fascinating thing is, I have five children. I have three daughters and two sons. My second daughter, she's getting it. I see what she posts and I see what she's doing in her life. She gets it, and it's not something we talk about openly, but there's a very tangential effect that
Oh
she's
yeah.
experiencing. Yes.
Yeah, and again, it's energetic because you send that out. You send that energy out, and brains just like you want to manifest. That word drives me crazy because people just don't understand what it is to manifest. You have to work, you already have to see it in your mind's eye as if it has occurred. You have
Yes.
to live it, you have to be it, you have to want it. So, meditation. I had to pull back, Judith.
Why is that?
What? Because I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit and the energy was giving me downloads in bucketfuls. And I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? I said, God, can you slow this down and give it to me in bite-sized pieces? You know what he told me? He says, I am giving you all of the information. And when the time is right, the pieces will come together. But what are you going to do with this information as I give it to you? Are you going to nurture it? Are you going to explore it? Are you going to learn from it? Are you going to work with it? Are you going to share it? Or are you going to ignore it? Are you going to mistreat it? Are you going to disrespect it? And I got goose. Look, you should. I got goose pimples all on my arms now, just thinking about, because God calls me baby, and I was like, well, okay. So now I understand that when you get all these pieces of information, you don't have to act on them right then.
Correct.
You
Yes.
know,
Right.
it's like those shoes that you bought 2 months ago that you haven't took the price tags off or tried them on once. You have to put these things together systematically. When it comes to healers, um, how do you pick a healer that works with you? I can't just go verbally by what you say. I can't just go by a referral. There's an energy, there's almost a smell. I have a very keen sense of smell. I think I was a dog in a previous life. But there's a smell, there's an energy. I can taste it on my tongue. When I'm in your aura, when I'm in your atmosphere, there's something about you or individuals. When I connected with you on the phone, I mean, I look at you and I'm saying, she's just sweet. She looks like a bookkeeper or maybe a nurse. But no way would I just assumed until that you were a healer until I got to talk to you. And then it was something that radiated through the computer almost. And I was like, wow, this is really deep. But it's so soft and it's gentle and it's not pushy. It's not like, I'm gonna, do this to you or I'm gonna do that to you. It's very soft. How do you pick a healer when you're looking?
So for me personally, I'm highly intuitive.
Mm.
And the way I describe it is I have beautiful God-given gifts of intuition. Other people would use other terms for me. They might call me a psychic, they might call me a medium or a channeler. I don't like those terms because to me, they go somewhere I don't want to go that
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily stay in love and light. That's just me personally. Other people use the terms that they want to use. So I'm very much like you in that, April. I know a lot of healers in my life. And like you, I also have a keen sense for the energy that they bring to the world.
Right.
And there are some that I am polite to and will be cordial with when I'm in a networking meeting with them, but they're not my people. Now they are they're for a lot of other people, but for me they're not. And I'm very cautious about who I let into my energy field.
Right.
And so I spend some time really getting to know someone and being in their presence and really feeling their energy. And then, of course, I teach all my clients to muscle test. I'm, as you said, elevated, advanced. I don't have to use muscle testing all the time because my intuition is so strong and I hear things so clearly. But if I ever have to, I'll just, muscle test, is this what I need to be doing or not? And that's how I pick my healers.
Okay. What does your family think about what you're doing and how you've transformed your life and your friends, old friends from high school?
Um, so I don't have any of those that I stay in touch with because when I left high school because it was not a pleasant experience for me. And the family member that this has had the biggest impact on has been my husband. We've been married 23 years, and frankly, it was not a good marriage for many, many years because he came into a family that had kind of circled the wagons after my first husband left. My 5 kids and I had really become a closed unit,
Mhm.
and he was an interloper into our family. Um, as the children have grown and matured and learned, they've come to appreciate him. But he's also a very concrete, black and white, logical thinker. So this has just been woo for him. And I can remember the day I taught him how to muscle test because he was having some kind of an issue. Oh, he was having nightmares that he couldn't get on top of. And
Mm.
he had complained about these nightmares for years. And I finally said, I can help you with that, but you got to learn how to muscle test. And he's like, And so I taught him how to do the sway test. And like you, he had a positive response to it and he was captivated by it. So then we started doing a little bit of work here and there together. Um, and you've been around healers and you know quite a bit about this. When you're in the area, in the vicinity or family or a relationship with a healer, when they level up, you're going to level up too. When they go through healing, you're going to go through healing too. Their energy shifts are going to affect you. And I've seen that effect with my husband. And he's my biggest fan and my greatest supporter and really gets what I'm doing. My kids don't talk to me about it. But they're aware that something's different with mom. And so they appreciate that things are different now. And that I continue to do my healing journey. In fact, my daughter and I had a texting exchange the other day. She sent me something about, oh, the energy you have may not, that nervous energy you have may not be yours. It may be your mother's that you're carrying. And I just sent back to her and I said, well, it's kind of funny you say that because right now what I'm dealing with my shoulder is 20 generations of mother-daughter disconnect, and I'm working on this. And so, yes, of course, you're going to see a meme about this right now because you need to be aware that I'm doing this work on your behalf, your sister's behalf, the granddaughter's behalf, and your niece's, my niece's behalf.
You're carrying
So
the load.
I'm seeing little snippets of the kiddos getting this stuff, but
Mhm.
it's not like we sit around and talk about it very
I know.
much.
Well, I've been married 41 years to Mr. Magnificent, and I noticed something about him. Okay, he just retired a year and a half ago. And he's always been real cool, but he's become very philosophical. And I'm like, I mean, just he's always been a deep thinker, but really intense and regurgitating certain quotes or moments. And I'm seeing him change. You don't think that after being married to someone for 41 years that they would change. So what I did was I introduced him to tapping.
I love tapping.
EFT.
Yep.
And the first time he caught me doing it, he said, "Baby, do you need some Benadryl or something? It looks like you're itching." And I said, "No, you just getting on my nerves."
Yeah, my
That's
husband
what
knows what I'm sitting doing that.
exactly getting on my nerves. That's what I'm doing. But when I started to talk to him about it and teach him how to ask the questions and not so much have an expectation, but be open to the results, it's been a change. And he has seen me manifest some things I could tell you that would curl your hair. Quick story. I was broke as a joke. I wrote myself uh, a letter to my money. I sat there, a page and a half of how it made me feel, how I was controlling and, depressing and this, that, and the other. Spirit said, turn the page over. Turn the page over. Money wrote me back. This is what you're experiencing. Why are you giving me so much control? Why are you giving me so much power? I'm no more important than any other piece of paper on your desk. You have to live the experience. You have to know who you are. You have to, don't let me control you. Don't work for me. Let me work for you. I have been financially free ever since.
Wow.
And it was about
Love
the
that.
manifestation of what I wanted, but I was clear. And that's what you have to do, brains. You got to be clear. And it's hard to get clarity. That's the first step. You can't just go to Judith and say, hey, you know what? I want this fine man that's got a yacht and a car and we're going to travel. And all that. No, you got to be more specific.
Right.
I need him to be loving and caring. I need him to have brown hair and, brown eyes. I need him to have some life experience, but also be compassionate. You have to seriously write down the things that you want if you want them to come into fruition because you have to see them. Judith is not a fortune teller. She's not a witch. It's
Thank
not about
you.
it's not about hoo-hoo or woo-woo. It is about connecting with the quantum physics, the energy that we are all made of. And once you get that clear and write down what you want, then she can help guide you through this transformation as a facilitator. Do I have that right?
You have it right. I, for the last 2.5 years, have run what we call intention manifesting circles,
Mm,
bring together 8 women for a 10-week period. And I've run about 250 hours of those over the last couple of years and have seen remarkable results in helping people understand setting your intentions. Well, first, getting clear, setting your intentions, and then taking the action to actually manifest them.
yes,
And you
yes.
are right
I
on.
have worked. I've done the work, and I still do the work. I
Yes.
was telling you about the traffic circle situation out here in the green room we were talking about, and I was nervous when I went into this meeting, and I said, you know what, God, bring me the highest and greatest good, nothing less, nothing less. Fighting with the city and the bureaucrats is tough. And I walked in there, and my mother used to always say, "Baby, put something sweet in your mouth, because if you got something sweet in your mouth, you can't say nothing bad." So I
Good.
put a big old piece of peppermint in my mouth and I was chewing on that thing. And next thing I know, they were telling me all the things that they were going to do. $10 million has been allocated to this. I'm
Wow.
not going to get it all, but they're going to fix what I had asked for. And
That's
I had seen
fantastic.
it in my mind's eye. I had asked for it before I got there. I was clear on my intention. I was grateful. Tell them about the gratitude, Judith.
Oh, gosh. Gratitude is the highest frequency in the universe. And most people misconceive and think anger is the lowest frequency. It's not, it's fear. So gratitude is the antidote to fear. And there's a whole continuum of, and I don't like to use the terms bad emotions or negative emotions or, positive emotions. I like frequencies because it is all energetic.
It is.
When you are fearful, start looking around for the things that you're grateful for. And if you can't find anything,
Oh,
I'm grateful I've got a glass of water on my desk.
yes, ma'am.
I'm grateful I've got a fan blowing on me. I'm grateful I've got a box of tissues here. You know, whatever it is, it just starts raising your frequency and raising it and raising it. And pretty soon you've got a praise fest going on because you find everything to be grateful for.
Everything to be grateful for. It's the minute things. It's the minute things. It is, I have a gratitude uh, piece of paper that I write at least 5 or 6 things every day. And it could be the smallest thing. It's like I had indigestion. Oh, good gracious. I'm so thankful that I got Pepsi on my desk. you know, it's those things. People think that they have to be grandiose.
And boy, oh, April, you are so right. And we miss so much because we look for those mountaintop experiences all the time. And we're not always going to be in the mountaintop. And I'm going to tell you, in the valley, when we can find gratitude, that's where it's going on.
That's right.
I,
When you can praise it through your circumstance. Praise through your circumstance because
yeah,
life is not happening to you, it's happening for you
and through you.
and through you. And so
Yeah.
what you want to do is you want to talk about and summit that you have that you conduct. Tell us a little bit about that and what people have to look forward to.
This is an annual event I do in the fall. And so let's talk about meditation and manifestation here just a minute. I was meditating in April and I heard, and I've done this long enough to know when I hear something, I am taking action on it. Okay. So I heard, okay, it's time to launch your membership. And I went, okay, cool. I can launch my membership. I'm ready to do that. In the next beat, I heard, and you're going to start doing summits in the fall. And I went, wait, what? I'm launching a membership and putting a summit together all at the same time. It was like,
Wow.
yes, you are, and it'll be fine. So the summit, again, this was a divine download. It's called the Fempreneur Connection. And I have a real heart for working with women entrepreneurs because I've been one. And women, the entrepreneurial world is interesting because there's so much masculine energy in the entrepreneurial world. And most of the so-called gurus that are out there that are directing people on how to run their businesses as entrepreneurs are men. And women are missing that divine feminine power that is available to them to run their businesses. So I looked at my personal entrepreneurial journey and because as a healer, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business as a healer. Uh, I realized that there are three components that go into making up a woman's entrepreneurial business: soul, business, and visibility.
Mm.
So I had this divine download to start this summit, and it's 3 days long. There's the soul of your business on day one, the business of your business on day two, and the visibility of your business on day three. And what I do is call in experts in these fields to come and share people who are actually sustainable and making a living, being successful in their businesses, like you mentioned a little while ago, not the influencers who have $2 million but are not converting. These people are actually doing the job to talk to women to understand that women have a different rhythm and power in their businesses than what traditionally we've been taught through the masculine framework.
Well, it's powerful because I'm sure that you've read it, but the book Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
Now,
Mhm.
I review that every year, and every year when I listen to it audibly as I'm multitasking, I'm trying to incorporate more than one habit. It transforms because it goes into the energy of your sexuality and the power of that. Sex is not just for uh, reproduction necessarily. It's not just for vanity or lewd acts. There's an energy there that God has put in us that raises a frequency. I mean, when you anticipate being with your lover, maybe not, penetrating, but just the fact of being around someone that shares your loving energy, that shares your frequency, that is that you want to cuddle up next to. You think about it. I mean, I can hear my husband clear his throat. I kid you not, and my heart skips a beat. It goes right to my heart center. So there's something about a sexual energy of a woman. We are the givers of life. There is nothing on this planet that has not come through a uterus. Nothing. There's always a metamorphosis of change. And so, what we need to do is grab hold and grapple that energy and make it powerful and make it useful, not to be shamed, not to be abused, but to teach our young daughters how beautiful you are. I know my mother, God rest her soul, got pregnant at 14 years old. And as I grew up, she said, I don't want that to happen to you because you are beautiful. You are a princess. Let me tell you how to avoid the pitfalls of life, how someone should treat you as a woman, how you should treat yourself, what expectations you have. These are the kind of conversations that we should innately start with our young kids, young daughters, and then that self-esteem will grow and it will blossom. And then they will say, oh, you know what? This doesn't sound good to me. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause. This doesn't work. Also, the business you mentioned of healing. Brains, okay. Uh, Forgive me, Judith, but you can't do this for shit and giggles.
No,
Okay.
you can't.
This is her gift and it should be monetized. Money is, as we talked about, a form of energy. It is a vehicle of exchange. So when someone comes to you with a healing gift and there is a dollar amount attached to it, you're making an investment in yourself. The person that you are working with has done the work. You don't think that Judith has spent thousands and thousands of dollars and still spending thousands of dollars putting on summits, educating people, her time. All of this equates to a value. So don't get all crunchy because the $300, $400 you might invest in Judith is going to multiply into three, four, five, 10 thousands of dollars. And then you need to take that and pour that into someone else because it is a cycle of energy. Do I have that right, Judith?
You have it right. It is an energetic exchange, and money is nothing but a tool in that energetic exchange.
That's right.
And when you barter with people or when you exchange, you're blocking that energetic exchange. And so, pay the money, it's going to come back to you. I had a gal who was referred to me. My one-on-one business has only ever grown through referrals. I've never advertised my work before, ever. And I've been very blessed to have a sustainable business that way. And so I had a referred client come to me. She did 5 sessions. Generally, people do 10 sessions to start with me. She could afford 5. And she came and she did the work, and I didn't see her again. She dropped off and we were done. And then I saw her in a networking meeting, and she says, I just have to tell you about Judith. She said, she helped me change my life. I worked with her, and now I'm here. And I hadn't seen her since November because it'd been almost a year since we worked together. And she's one of my speakers at one of my summits.
Yeah,
And it's just, she paid me and she benefited. And now her business is thriving because of that.
exactly. And you'll pay it forward. So don't be so uptight about, you know, this thing, this paper thing. The Chinese invented paper dollars as a form of a receipt for a vehicle of exchange. I can't necessarily give you the cattle right now, but let me give you this certificate to lock in and secure what we're doing. There's no difference. When I hear them talk about billionaires and trillionaires, I bet you look in their wallet right now and they don't have $500. It is an illusion. Don't get caught up in the illusion. You can already be a millionaire in your mind. It's the difference between being rich and being wealthy.
Okay, let's go there for a second. Because being rich means that you have all the means to live the lifestyle that you choose to live. That's what being rich is. And I learned that when I read Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I can't recommend her book highly enough. For anybody who's got money hangups, that's a great book. Wealthy is different. Wealthy is just a whole nother ball of wax, but all of us can be rich no matter what the dollar amount is in our bank account. And I used to tell people, you are not defined by the zeros in your checking account. Whether it's 1.00 or 10 or 100 or 1,000, you're not defined by that. That's not where your worth and your value comes from. So I
Become
love that you
when
brought
you
that up.
become wealthy, you have the time, you have the wherewithal, the bandwidth, the choices, the options to be able to use those riches to make
But
you a better person.
that's what the entrepreneurial world holds out there as financial freedom.
Right,
Yeah,
right. The trickery. The trickery.
you
So,
got it.
in conclusion, I want to ask you a couple fun questions, and then
Okay.
before we do that, I want you to be sure to give us all of your contact information. I want people to work with you, experience you. If nothing else, call her and have a consultation with her. Do the deep dive. See if there is more that you need to uncover and discover about yourself, like she did. Maybe someone can turn on your switch. So, if you were an appliance in the kitchen, Judith, what appliance would you be and why?
I'd be the KitchenAid mixer.
Really? Why would you be the KitchenAid mixer?
It's a container first. There's a bowl, which is a container, right?
Right?
And then it has different paddles that you use to mix things up, to change the composition of something, to create, and then to produce.
Mm, that's beautiful. I'd be the garbage can. You know why?
Tell me.
Because I want to be the place that you dispose of what no longer serves you.
Oh,
I want to be the place where you can recycle. I want to be the place that you have to go to get rid of the things that are empty. So I'd be the garbage can.
hmm.
What a planet do you mostly align with in our current solar system?
So it's not a planet. Uh, it's I don't even know how to describe it. So this healer that I work with, she was trained in something new called 13th octave Lahochi. Okay. And she's a Reiki master. And she said, I've gotten this new certification. I have to do so many number of sessions to get, my certification over here. I said, great, come on, we'll do it together. I had the most profound experience when I did that session with her with this 13th octave Lahochi. And what I experienced was astral traveling to a destination in the ether with a body of beings who downloaded information into me. You talked about when you meditate and you get all the downloads. I had to grab my journal and I downloaded literally for 30 minutes straight. Just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And that's where I identify with, is at that place. There's also other chakra points. And so I did some work around what my ideal chakra point is, and it's the 13th chakra.
Wow.
So these are connected, this destination that I went to in my 13th chakra. So that's where I identify.
I astro traveled on the back of a dragon during during a meditation with this woman in Australia. You know what? I again, because I'm not very trusting. Let's be real. When I meet people, you get about 65%. I'm not giving you 100. We got to ratchet up or ratchet down, but both ways, me and them. And I was like, no, we're not going through this. I was on that meditation. I was on that back of that dragon. It was unbelievable. And I was going through the universe to the point where I said, I don't know if I want to do this again because it was so powerful. So I give you your flowers right now for hanging in there, because you get to this place where you are out of this universal alignment that we call this container of earth and this meat suit that we're in, and you get your mind to another level. I'm telling you, brains, you got to be prepared for that, baby, because it is a journey. Absolutely.
It really is. May I tell you something really funny? I have a good friend, and I was telling her about astral traveling. She said, "Oh, you don't want to do that because there might be a time you never come back." And I went, "Not receiving that.
That's right.
That is, like you say, for my highest grade is good. Astral traveling for me is very good for me, very, very good. And I receive a tremendous amount of healing and insights when I astral travel. Yeah."
But again, you got to be prepared for it. And then when you come back, you have to, again, be in sync with other people that understand that, because, you're not weird. You're not on drugs. You're not, you're,
It's a little weird.
well, it's a lot weird, but I'm just saying, me and you could have that conversation and understand.
Right.
But you're sitting there talking to Barb, and Barb is like, no, here
I
she's
don't
at.
say this to too many people, but now I'm saying it to the world. But
Yeah,
you
but
know,
then she's into that hoo-hoo. She's into the devil. She's microdosing. They'll say everything but what it is. And once you experience, it's like me. The first time I got the Holy Ghost, and I started speaking in tongues and speaking in light language. My family and my daughter and my husband looked at me like, where is she coming from? I passed cold out. I felt like my whole body was on fire. When you go through these true transformations, brains, I'm telling you, they are so exhilarating that a lot of times you don't want to come back. When people have these near-death experiences, they'll tell you, you know what, I love my family and all that, but there was so much love there and so much light, I didn't necessarily want to come back.
right.
So it's a part of the journey, and all of us have a soul journey. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. What is your spirit animal?
A hawk.
Mm.
Hawks are a portent of change.
Mm-hmm. I thought
Yeah.
it was the dragonfly that's on your desk.
No, you can't see it. There's a butterfly above me, and so my company's animal is a butterfly. So that's a little butterfly back there. Yeah. But no hawks.
Okay. All right. That's good. If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you be?
Gardenia.
I love the smell.
Oh, the smell. They're beautiful.
The smell is absolutely wonderful. And in closing, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to remember about you?
I got to think about that one for a minute because I don't spend a lot of time there. I guess the main thing that I would say about that would apply to my children. And when my kids remember me, I want them to remember that I love them unconditionally, wholeheartedly, never stopping.
That's beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
very simplistic. There's not a whole lot. A lot of times people say, oh, I want a plaque on the wall. I want a building named after me. Again, I want to be king. I want to be queen. I want to be everything. But you just want to be love and light. And that's exactly who you are, love and light. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you, so they can follow you. They can connect with you on social media. And we're going to be posting information about your current upcoming summit, and then the summits that you're going to be conducting in the future.
The easiest way to find me is to go to my website, which is just judithrichey.com. And Richey is spelled Richey. So it's judithrichey.com. You'll find information about my membership there, my summit that's coming up. You'll find all my social links. Everything is on my website, judithrichey.com. And if you want to schedule a time to come visit with me, ask me questions. Say, I've had this weird experience. What is this about? Can you explain this? Or I'm stuck. I can't figure out how to get past this. I've tried everything else and nothing's worked. I have healers who come to me and go, I've been to 5 different healers and nobody could figure this out. You can book a call with me there. JudithRichey.com is the easiest place.
But what we're going to do is we're going to put all of your information at the back part of the interview, because I want people to reach out and touch you, so that they can feel themselves. And that's what's important, is to know self. It's ever evolving. Subconscious mind is about 4 or 5 different people back there that you probably never met. Every
Just had that conversation with a client this morning. Just had that
everything
very
is
same
not
conversation.
the frontal lobe. This is the decision making. This is where you've already embedded and planted your ideas and your judgments and your fears. That's right here in the front. I need you to go further in the back. Take your time. Meditation is not this big overwhelming thing. You don't have to be in a certain position. You don't have to hold your hands a certain way. Sometimes it's just when you get out of the shower, sit there in the chair, close your eyes, and take about 10 or 15 deep breaths. Hold them, do the breath work. Hold them, let them out slowly, and just relax. Just relax. That's the best part. And that is our message today. I want you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe. This one's a little dark, but you know where you're at. Love, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on all of the social media platforms. We're not on X and we're not TikTokers, but we're everywhere else. You can go in and listen to us where you get all of your fine podcasts. Thank you, Judith, so much. Come
Mm.
back and talk to me again. I mean, I could talk to you forever because we get it.
We get it, and you're my soul sister, and I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you so much. Thank
Come
you.
on to San Diego and I'll take you out for some ice cream.
Let's do it.
All right, Brains, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.